Hello, everyone. Rob here. Yeah, I'm not doing the great Marco. Hello, guys, but I will do the hands. The Rob hands. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the pub. This is not my channel. This is Rob's pub channel. Obviously, sometimes I do host Pub Talk, but tonight, Rob has kind of given me the controls and the keys to his channel. So let's cause carnage while Rob's not here. This guy, though, is making a return to the pub. So if you're not familiar with this guy, you're not seen him around for a while, this is Disney Dan. He is obviously a regular in the pub. Daniel?
Cheers. I mean, I've got an empty bottle, but it's, yeah.
What happened? I put you guys up there.
There he is. So, yeah, welcome. Rob has changed position. Rob is down. Oh, well, now I'm full screen again. Rob is down here because Europe are on top. So, topical. Topical. So, yeah. In the old. So, welcome to the Ryder CupTalk edition of Pub Talk. We're not just talking about the golf and the Ryder Cup. Obviously, that did start today. If you're a fan of the sport, if you're into the whole USA-Europe friendly rivalry that goes on in that sport, it's always a good biannual competition. I'm not a massive golf fan, but I do really get into the Ryder Cup. Dan is more of a golf fan than I am. But, yeah,
in all fairness, Adam, I think the reason why people are going to be intimidated that both you and I are on top is because whoever is a golf fan on Rob's channel probably don't want to listen to more of the Ryder Cup because we've completely demolished the first day.
And we're smiling about it because obviously Dan and I from the UK, we will of course be cheering on Europe, but two,
Team Brexit. Sorry.
But two, Europe have never had such a good start to the tournament. You know, they've never won the opening 4 matches and whitewashed against America. And there's never been a single day in the history of the Ryder Cup where the USA has failed to win one of the matches until today, which is surprising given 2 years ago USA was so dominant over Europe. And so, yeah, obviously Europe fight back today. Dan and I are happy, so cheers to that.
Cheers.
Yeah. I'm drinking... Yeah, you got your Coors Light. I'm drinking a Brewdog Oktoberfest.
Wow, wait, hold on a second. That deserves a full screen. Hold on a sec. What is that? I never seen that.
Brewdog. So Brewdog is it's a Scottish company, but they have gone global now. Like you can get Brewdog in America as well. But Brewdog do so many different beers. A lot of IPAs. This one is apparently a festival lager. But yeah, they do a lot of IPAs. Do you remember the Christmas Advent calendar that I had with all the beers? The one bit that was made by Brewdog. So they do, So they do different beers all the time. But yeah, this Oktoberfest one very tasty. I'm not normally a big lager drinker, but this one is really good. Tiki Man fan in the house.
Hey,
welcome up? Tiki Man fan. How you doing? And yes, we're a little later than usual in the pub tonight,
guys,
but
it's all me.
It's all of us.
Time for me.
it's just a bit of all of us. Had a lot going on tonight, so
yeah.
You know where that tap, but I'm gonna step on it.
Yeah,
so I'm drinking Coors Light. This is my tribute to Mike, who loves Coors Light. So there you go. Cheers. And Dan, what are you drinking there, Dan?
I was drinking some Coke Zero, and then I filled up with H2O without the H2.
Fancy.
Oh.
So it's literally yeah.
No, Daniel.
Jeez. Actually, there was a tiny bit of Coke Zero left. But
you drinking a bottle which had H2O in it has just reminded me of something.
And then now it's just
So obviously there's been so it's just it did remind me of something though. Something that I did not bring up with you on the day, but obviously we were just talking off air, and the last time we saw each other in person was obviously at your wedding, which was a beautiful day.
Man,
beautiful,
awesome.
Beautiful service. Yep. To Dan and Hannah, by the way, I will raise a special glass to Dan and Hannah. All the best to you both. Yeah. May you have a lifetime of happiness together. So cheers to that. Hannah looked absolutely beautiful, stunning.
Awesome.
On the day, Dan scrubbed up all right as well. He did okay. No, it was it was beautiful. The whole thing from start to finish was absolutely superb. But one thing that Kim pointed out to me, which was really funny.
Oh, no.
I'm nervous for you, Dan.
So obviously we're familiar with the Dan rant here in Pub Talk and on other channels, but we're familiar with the Dan rant. And one of his biggest pet peeves is H2O in a bottle. And we went to the wedding, and on the way in, it was a Jewish wedding, and they were giving everyone. Is it the kipper? Is that correct, Dan?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So special made, personalised kippers for the wedding, which
Where
was
are you
beautiful.
going with this?
But they also handed out.
I'm so curious.
They also handed out bottled water to everyone.
Dun.
And we were like,
know about this.
Dan's biggest nemesis, Dan's biggest pet peeve in the world, and they were giving it to everyone on his wedding day.
What's
Kim,
What's even worse? I didn't even know that. Like, this is news to me.
That would you have stepped in and like, no way, no bottled water?
No, they can have tap water.
No, you are mistaken, my friend. I said my biggest nemesis is bottled water that is sold for $5 at Disney World called Smart Water. Giving free bottled of water, which we did, that I've just found out today, which was on my wedding, I didn't even know.
Which was great because it was really hot in that room, by the way. it was really hot in that room, and I was like,
I had no idea.
when you walk past down the aisle, and I was like,
That's funny. I didn't even see it.
Yeah, Dran!
I didn't even see it.
No way.
Oh, it was so funny.
No
but yeah, Kim kind of put it out afterwards. She was like, wait a minute. Dan hates bottled water.
This secretly is like an inside joke just for Adam. I deliberately gave him free bottled water so
well,
no
lots of people had it. Yeah, no, they were giving it to everyone as they walked in. Everyone apart from you, apparently.
They gave free bottled water to all the guests except the bride and groom. Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So So, but yeah, it was just something that I forgot to actually mention to you on the day. I did think, when we were several drinks in the evening, and I was leaving you voicemail. You were leaving yourself voicemails. Then I did think that would have been a good time to bring it up, but I completely forgot by that point. So, So
we Dan was been on the show since his wedding, though, right? We did the D23. Was he on? No, he wasn't on. So this is your first time back from the wedding?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, welcome back, Dan. Like Dan said, hey guys, I'm free tonight. So I'm like, I could float away in Noah's Ark over here in New York because of the flooding, but Dan wants to be on. I'm coming live. So I love that, guys. I miss him.
So crazy floods in New York.
Bro.
Thanks,
He's Rob is doing improvised swimming lessons, and he's come out of that just to have a Ryder CupTalk pub talk with me. I'm very honoured.
And what the audience watching, either live in the pub, so welcoming SurfBum John as well. The audience watching live, or anyone watching the catch up, or listening on the podcast, because we are now a podcast as well. Yep. So we've also got to reach out to our audio only audience as well.
What's up, guys?
So for the audio only audience, and those obviously watching, you can't see Rob on the YouTube channel from the waist down, which is a shame because Rob is actually sitting in an inflatable rubber ring right now, just bobbing along on. He's just floating. He's at
the moment. If you are listening to the podcast right now, Rob looks like he's swaying from side to side on the rollers of his chair, but actually it's just the water sloshing from side to side. I've got to say though, let me just quickly throw my hat in here. Putting these episodes on the podcast has been absolutely amazing, and re-listening to all of these. I've listened to 3 or 4. Awesome. I've listened to the top 5 Halloween movies episode, which was amazing. The Christmas episode. I listened to the Galaxy's Edge announcement episode, and I've just re-listened to the Endgame Rise of Skywalker.
That's awesome.
Episode. And you know what?
Nice.
It's so fun just to like re-listen to these. And if anybody is listening to the podcast, leave a 5-star rating.
Yes,
We
please.
want
Good
to,
idea.
like,
Thank you,
promote
Dan.
this and give it 5 stars. Give it a good comment, and yeah, we really love doing these. So
yeah, because I even told Dan, I was like so moved by like how professional you guys were and how awesome you guys were. Like you, Brandon, Adam. It was awesome.
We still are.
No, like even like but we've come so far in 5 years. I feel we're great like now, but like, you know, in the beginning, like you guys were just amazing. And like, I felt that way too. I threw them all up there. Like I really wanted just to put all the Pub Talk ones on there. I have another one, Rob Fuzz Hangout, but I'm kind of like slowly putting that one out. But the Pub Talk ones, we always wanted to do a Pub Talk from Pub Talk podcast from day one, and we finally 5 years later,
the pubcast,
yeah. We finally got to it. But like Dan, I agree with you. Like they kind of like you do the show, you never listen to them again, and it's been 5 years, and he just kind of disappeared. And like bring them back on the podcast, and like just to kind of like look, like some people were saying in the chat, some stuff you definitely have to listen to. But I'm gonna go back. I did a lot of them already, but I'm gonna go back and finish them. I'll put the YouTube link in there. So if you want to see something. You want to see, because I actually had Pepper Tree Villa on one of the podcasts, and they held up an ornament. I'm like, oh, I want to see what ornament it was. So I clicked the YouTube link, and I fast forwarded that part, and I saw what the ornament was, which was kind of cool. But so much fun though. Like we've had. I was
listening to the Endgame Rise of Skywalker one, and I was in the car driving to. I was playing golf today as well. I wasn't in the Ryder Cup. I was driving to golf because I was playing golf. And I was listening to the podcast, I was listening to myself, and it's weird listening to yourself. I was listening, and I was like, I can't wait to go and see The Rise of Skywalker. It looks amazing. The trailer looks awesome. I can't wait. It's going to be like the best movie ever. And now saying that and looking back at how disappointing The Rise of Skywalker actually was, is just...
Yeah, I only saw it once, I think.
I haven't seen it since I saw it.
Yeah, me neither.
I wasn't as disappointed with it because I wasn't as disappointed with Rise of Skywalker looking back on it because me and Kim went to see that in the cinema. That was like our first trip to the cinema together, I think. And we went to like a triple header. It lasted like 9 hours or something like that. So so it started with Force Awakens again, and then The Last Jedi. And The Last Jedi, I thought, was actually the most disappointing out of the 3 new films. So then, obviously, Rise of Skywalker. Obviously, it's new. You're going into it, with probably not the biggest of expectations because of Last Jedi, but actually, I thought they did a kind of an all right job in salvaging a little bit. Is it the best film? No, not by a long stretch, but it's certainly better than a couple of the prequels. And I agree with that. Better than at least one of the sequel trilogy as well. So
I actually want to go see, like, John hasn't seen, like,
hey Disney Worlders,
all 3 of them. Disney Wonders, welcome. Disney Worlders. It's Dan. Hey Dan,
Disney Worlders.
But he hasn't even seen. He's seen 4, 5, and 6. I think we've seen 1 and 2. We've stuck on 2, so we got to finish 2,
and you'll be
because that's the worst one. That is the worst one.
Yeah. And then I wanted to go see the last 3, and we just haven't seen them. I think John saw some of them, and then in the meanwhile, the TV shows came out and everything, and Mandalorian's amazing. So like it kind of like.
Is anyone watching Ahsoka?
I've seen a couple episodes.
Oh my god, it is unbelievable. It is so good. It's the best Star Wars show they've released.
I can't wait to finish.
I need to confess, I've still not even seen any Mandalorian yet, and
dude,
it's on my to-do list. It's just I've got so much other stuff going on still, like that. I've just not got around to watching any Mando yet. So we'll probably go to watch it, and they'll take it off Disney Plus, and we'll be like, we will get around to watching.
The thing is with Ahsoka, a lot of it goes back to the animated show,
nice,
the Rebels show, which is a really great show. It's really good. It's an animated show, but you can pick it up from Ahsoka, the TV show, but you'll just be a little bit. So why are we focusing so much on these characters? Why are we focusing on this character in particular? But dude, they had
And I think this is
they
a
had
thing.
Cameo this week from the original trilogy, and when he came in,
okay, that's cool. That's cool.
I know who it is, but yeah.
When he walked in, I was just like, "No, my god!"
That's cool. That's cool. I love cameos and things like that. I think this is the one thing with Star Wars lore and, with Marvel lore as well now. I don't overly like when TV shows and movies blend. And I think we discussed this on a recent episode of Pub Talk a few episodes back, and we were talking about Marvel and how, you had the whole Marvel movie franchise that kind of all of the stories kind of linked and fed into another one with a cutscene at the end, something that got you pumped into the next movie and whatnot. And it all led up to Endgame, was beautifully done. Even the first Spider-Man, or the second Spider-Man after Endgame, it's still linked in perfectly in the timeline and everything like that. But then once they started getting the TV shows involved as well, everything just kind of gets confusing and muddled, and it becomes a bit of a nuisance. And I know Star Wars have done that over the years as well, because they've had the animated stuff, like you say, and I believe, I think I read one time online that in one of the animated shows, apparently Darth Maul actually survived the thing that you see at the episode at the end of Phantom Menace, and it's like, what? How's that possible? And so it's one of those things. As much as I dislike the crossover between TV shows and animated stuff and movies, I am going to have to kind of watch the whole intertwining at some point. But then when you go down that rabbit hole, there's going to be a year of my life gone.
Let me tell you. I'll tell you this, right? As somebody who's watched the Clone Wars TV show and the Rebels TV show, they just expand. They were both created by Dave Filoni, who is an incredible director and writer, and truly loves, he's the George Lucas of our time.
That's awesome. Hold that thought. We have a guest. Hold on a sec. I'm sorry. We'll get back to that. Hold that thought.
A guest,
guys.
We got Dean here.
Oh, he's on the course too.
I'm here in Rome, and we're getting killed, guys. We're getting killed.
Yeah, I know.
Well, Dean, Rob is underwater in New York because of all the American tears. He's floating around.
Coming from Minnesota. That's right. It's pathetic. What are you guys doing to us, Dan and Adam? Come on.
It's we're putting our chances. No, it's we were saying at the top of the show for Dan and I, it's been great watching today, because obviously 2 years ago was an absolute car crash for Europe, and I think it's kind of interesting that over the last 8 Ryder Cups, I think 7 of them have always been won by the home side. 2012 Medina being the one exception to that rule, but yeah, I don't think anybody, not even the Europeans themselves on the team, I don't think expected for today to go the way it went.
I think I disagree.
What do you feel? Yeah, you might be right, Dan. Do you feel like there will be a little bit of over partying tonight by the Europeans, and then this will give the Americans a little bit of an edge?
I really don't think so. So I think the European squad are so confident,
focused,
focused that the job's not done until the last part is played, and you've got guys like Victor Hovland, who is playing unbelievably well. John Rahm has had an amazing day, and McIlroy's put his foot in the door. We've got some great young talent like
Justin Rose has come back, and he lives for the road.
Ludwig Aberg is a young superstar.
That guy's amazing.
He's never even played in a major, and he's playing in the Ryder Cup. And
it's ridiculous.
Is scary.
It's so good. And we got guys, solid players like Tommy Fleetwood, who's still playing really well. Matt Fitzpatrick, and they're gonna stir the shit. I think the American team are gonna be. Their confidence is going to be really hit after today.
This is going to be a tough one. You know what? You guys have 3 of the top 5, and our top 1 does not probably play too well in this format. So, and his.
Yeah, I do expect USA to come back at Europe, though. I do.
Okay.
Like, not necessarily to level it. I think Europe will have such a lead after today that, you know, obviously both teams will probably take points tomorrow. I mean, USA have to take points. Today was the first day in their history that they didn't win a match. You know, so USA, you know, they'll be wanting to rectify that tomorrow. They'll be playing with a bit of determination there, and I expect both sides to win a few matches, lose a few matches, and there'll be a few shared, tied matches as well. How that will see it, how we'll see the scoreboard at the end of the day is anyone's guess at this game, because obviously USA have a very, very, very talented side as well. So, but I do think Europe's lead now is going to be a big one to eat into. I think if USA were to get a win of the entire Ryder Cup, you're going to see something as amazing as Medina in 2012 when Europe came back at USA. I do think Europe's lead is a very commanding one right now. So
well, it's pretty bad. But I'll tell you what, I'm here today making a demo tape for Zach Johnson, and let's see here. I got my driver here.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
And this is a nice course near my home here, Bunker Hills. So
nice.
That's why I didn't join you guys. I'm out at the range.
That looks beautiful.
Let's see one.
Are you going to hit a ball for us, Dean?
I don't know how I'd put the camera to do it. Yeah,
prop it on your golf bag if you can.
I don't have my golf bag with me. I took my clubs out of my trunk.
Is there anything? Yeah.
Oh, he's on the range. Okay.
He's on the range. Yeah.
Well, there's a course right over here. This is a beautiful course, but I'm on the range. Yeah.
That's
awesome. All right.
Nice.
Well, Dean, thanks for checking in. You know, you could always just pop in and whatever. I love having Dean.
Yeah,
on.
well, Dean's going to try and hit one for us. I think he's going to figure out how he can prop his phone up. Yeah,
I can't even figure out how to switch the camera. So I don't think
it's a pain. It's a pain. It's so funny. I try to get Dean on a lot because I love the guy. He's a great guy. But like I said, we're doing golf today. I'll invite Dean. No problem. There he is.
I didn't even notice that you were doing Ryder Cup. I would have been there, but yeah, I went and visited my mom, and now I'm hitting a bucket of balls.
Very nice. Well, enjoy your weekend. That's all.
No, that sounds like a great Friday, Dean. To be fair, so
on my bucket list is that Disney Dan comes over to Florida, and we play a Disney course, and we take on Corey and Steve.
Nice. A bit of match play. A bit of match play. The Mickey Mouse shaped, the Mickey ears shaped bunkers and things like that. I remember seeing them when I was a kid on Florida videos. Just like, come and play some golf at Disney World, and they would always show the courses, and I was like, oh, they look amazing.
You pay $50 extra for those Mickey ears. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
Who did you want to challenge? Corey and who? I interrupted you. Sorry.
Corey and Steve.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Good with Dale too. So.
And Dale, yeah. And Dale.
All right, guys.
Very good. All right.
Take care.
Thanks, Dean. Take care, buddy.
Dean, great to see you, buddy. Look after yourself.
Of course. Check out the live, please. It's awesome. Yeah. So I'll put the link on there. Take care, buddy. Good seeing you.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Later.
See you soon, Dean. Take care.
And he's off.
Oh, that was awesome. That was awesome.
Dean from the live place. Yeah,
I love that he came live from a golf course. That's fantastic. So
that is awesome. It's like, what? You guys aren't talking about the cop? What happened? So we're getting there.
We're getting there. Stop talking about Star Wars already.
We're getting there. All right. So go back to what you were saying. Check out the live place. You guys know the live place. So. Sorry. If you could remember.
Yeah, no, just very quick. Yeah, I was talking about Dave Filoni, who is like the modern day George Lucas, and when he made the Clone Wars and the Rebels TV show, the amount of characters that he sort of developed and broadened, like he made Darth Maul one of the most compelling, in-depth characters I think this Star Wars universe has ever created. And like Maul's backstory and his drive after he was sliced in half, like it was unbelievable. And there's so many amazing scenes with him, and this new character of Ahsoka being Anakin's Padawan. Obviously, we don't see that in the movies, but like she's such a popular character from this animated show that she had her own series, like a live action series. Like she's one of the most popular Star Wars characters. So yeah, no, they're really great animated series. They're only like 20 minutes long, 20 minutes long, so you can easily just fire through them like really quickly. And
nice.
Yeah, they're really great. It's really great television. yeah, like it's weird, sort of looking back now on how that is compared to something like the Rise of Skywalker, which was just a bit underwhelming.
Yeah, definitely.
Interesting. Interesting.
Lots changed in those 5 years. They were rough. They were rough 5 years in there. So.
And we didn't even know what COVID was during that time. We didn't even know.
19, yeah.
Dude, it's crazy. Weird. It was weird.
What a different world we lived in back then.
We're kind of back to normal a little bit. COVID's kind
no,
of.
I say that with my tongue in my cheek, like that's sort of being facetious.
Yeah. So let's talk about the Ryder Cup. I be honest with you, I need Ryder Cup for dummies. I don't know anything about it. So
Ryder Cup is.
Well, hold on a second. It's a couple days though, right? Like it's a.
So it's 3 days. 3 days.
All golf tournaments last between 3 to 4 days, depending on the tour that you're on. So the Ryder Cup is basically, it happens every 2 years, where Europe and America choose 12 players who are seeded the best in the world, and they pretty much go through 3 days of different types of golf, like different types of game modes, basically different types of matches. So like if you went to the Masters or you went to the Open, you're just counting your score, how many you as an individual golfer got on each hole. Whereas this is like, it's a team game, and it's the only really one that they do in the world for every 2 years, and it's literally the only
USA do the President's Cup every other year as well, so which is against the rest of the world. Yeah, it's not as big as the Ryder, but that is USA versus the rest of the world, not including Europe, basically. So
and all the game modes are match play. Whereas pretty much most other tournaments are.
You got to explain that to me. I'll be honest.
So stroke play is basically when you count your score. So if you get par, and then you get a birdie, you go one under. If you get a bogey, you go one over. That's stroke play, and you just count your score over the 4 days, and that's what you get at the end.
Okay.
The Ryder Cup is match play. So let's say it was me versus Rob, and I beat you on the first hole and the second hole. I'm basically 2 holes up. I'm 2 points up basically over you. So
it's played kind of hole by hole, kind of.
It's a hole by hole.
Yeah. So if Dan tees off on the first hole with you, Rob, and Dan completes the first hole in 3 shots, and you took 4 shots, then Dan will go 1 up. He because he won that hole. He did it in less shots, basically. Fewer shots.
Yeah.
The second hole, Dan tees off again. Let's say it's a par 5, and he does it in 4 shots, and you do it in 5 shots. Then Dan would go 2 up, and so on. And essentially, that comes down to, there's obviously 18 holes that you'll play. Let's say you've got to the 15th hole, and Dan is 4 up. He's won 4 of the games, and you've tied the other 4 of the holes, and you've tied the others. And you're on the 15th hole. Let's say you tied that hole as well. There's only 3 holes left to play, which would be the 16th, 17th, and 18th holes. But Dan would still be 4 up, so he would have won, because there's no way
wouldn't be able to win.
Yeah, there's no way you would be able to. Yeah, you've run out of holes to be able to beat him, essentially. So it's a points tally, a score tally of who wins each hole, essentially. And you can tie, you can halve the holes, essentially, as a half point each. If USA won 9 and Europe won 9, that would be a half point each. But if yeah.
And then, so each team has a captain, and the captains, basically, they have 6 automatic choices. So who are seeded the top 6 best players in Europe, top 6 best players.
So each team has 6 players? I thought it was 5.
So you have an automatic,
12 each.
You have an automatic 6 people, and then the captains choose the second 6 players for your team. So it's not so much the ones who are the best, but ones who have had an amazing season, who are carrying lots of momentum. Which is and there's a lot of strategy that goes into it.
Or just have good character for the team. Sometimes they'll pick a player that is not necessarily on the best form in that particular season or in the last couple of years, but they know he's always been a good Ryder Cup team player and will get up for that tournament.
Sometimes you might be a really good player and be an absolute numpty in your decisions, and you won't get picked because he won't gel with the rest of the team. And I'm talking about someone like a Bryson DeChambeau who, hits his drive 350 yards, and he's a very show-offy kind of person. He's in your face, and I don't think he's a great team player, so that's probably why he didn't get picked. So there's a team of 12, and they play over 3 days, and every 2 years they either do one in Europe, and then the next time it will be in the United States, and then back to Europe.
Where was it last time?
So last time it was where is it in America?
It was in Wisconsin. It was Wisconsin, wasn't it?
It was in Wisconsin. Yeah. Before that, it was in Paris. This year, it is at Marco Simone Golf Course in Rome, just outside of Rome.
In Rome, yep.
Okay.
And it's a really stunning golf course. Really tough. There's a lot of heavy rough. You do not want to be in the rough. You want to stay in the fairway. There's a lot of sort of water hazards that are around, lots of bunkers to trap the ball in, the sand traps. So you've got to be quite accurate off the tee. And over the 3 days, there's sort of different formats. So today, the players played in pairs. So all 12 players pretty much play on the first day, and they sort of pair up against another pair from the opposite team.
Okay.
So
do they do like that where they go to all the different holes? They don't do it in order?
They do it in order. They start on hole 1,
Shotgun,
and then they'll tee off. Yeah, not a shotgun start. They do tee. Okay. The first 4 players tee off, and once they've teed off, the next 2 will come in on hole 1 and then tee off, and then third. So if I run down what happened this morning, they played a foursomes match, and a foursomes is basically if me and Adam were on a team, I hit the drive, Adam would have to take the second shot, and then I would take the third shot, and so on, and then Adam would start the second tee. So
the next hole,
next hole, and so on. So for Europe, this morning, John Rahm, who is Masters champion, teed up with Britain's Tyrrell Hatton, and they played off against Scotty Scheffler and Sam Burns. Scotty Scheffler also major champion and Masters champion. And Rahm and Hatton won that first match. That was 1 point for Team Europe. Victor Hovland, he and this young boy called Ludwig Aberg, who is literally just turned professional. He's just joined the PGA. He's playing in his first Ryder Cup. They beat Brian Harman, who just won the Open at Royal Liverpool in the UK, and Max Homa. So that means Europe went 2 up in the match. And then after them, Shane Lowry from Ireland and Sepp Straka from Austria beat Ricky Fowler and Colin Morikawa of the USA. So the Europe went 3 up in the match. And then we saved our best pair for last in the morning, which was Rory McIlroy and Tommy Fleetwood.
I know Rory McIlroy.
Oh, yeah, Rory is probably the second best known golfer after Tiger Woods in the current day. So McIlroy and Fleetwood played off against Alexander Schauffele and Patrick Cantlay, and they lost to McIlroy and Fleetwood. So that meant Europe went 4 up after the morning, which is a huge result.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
It's never happened before, has it?
Never.
Like Europe have never won the opening morning in the Ryder Cup 4-0. They've never.
It's just Europe. It's not UK. It's not whatever.
So it used to be Great Britain. Like years and years ago, the Ryder Cup was Great Britain versus the USA. But
it was Great Britain.
The pool of the pool of British golfers kind of wasn't huge. Yeah. So I can't remember what year it changed to Europe, but it became
like the 80s. It was 70s, 80s when they made it into Europe. And then this afternoon, which I didn't watch because I was playing in my own golf tournament, they played 4 balls. So in the morning they played a foursomes where they played an alternate shot. 4 balls is basically who gets the best score from your pair.
Okay.
So everyone plays the shots. So if Adam and I are on a team, instead of doing alternate shots, we just played the hole the best we could, and then whoever won between us two would get the point essentially. If we beat the other team, right? So some players had to play 2 rounds of golf today, which was quite a challenge, but they did really, really well. So First out was Victor Hovland and Tyrrell Hatton. They mixed up their partners. Two really, really strong guys. And they went up, and I was scared about this one because they were playing up against Jordan Spieth and Justin Thomas, who are like best friends. They are best buds, and they're a really strong pair. So to go up against Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth was really, really challenging. They actually tied the match, so it's half a point each.
Tied it right at the end, didn't they? It was
right at the end on the 18th.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then second out the block was John Rahm, and the guy who I was really worried about that was on Team Europe, which was Hodegaard. He's from Norway. No, I think he's from Denmark actually. So Rahm and Højgaard versus Scotty Scheffler and Brooks Koepka, and that is a really strong American pairing right there. They're really, really good, great players. Fortunately, Rahm and Højgaard kept ourselves in it, and they halved the match with Scheffler and Koepka.
Rahm played the game of his life today, didn't he?
Had the best. I think Rahm had one of the best days he's ever had in golf today, and kept the game going. And then the third match this afternoon was Rob McIntyre of Scotland and Justin Rose, who is a OG Ryder Cup legend. He's the most experienced guy in our team. Justin Rose, he went up against Max Homa and the US Open champion Wyndham Clark. They tied their match, which was really good. So another half point. And then finally we had Rory McIlroy and Matt Fitzpatrick of the UK versus Colin Morikawa and Xander Schauffele. And McIlroy and Fitzpatrick came out on top there, scoring a 5 and 3, which means Europe got the point. So that ended the day with Europe on 6.5 points and the United States on 1.5. Which is a big
out of a possible 8 points, essentially, isn't it? Out of a possible 8 points. Yeah.
Which is a big
6.5 to Europe.
But the thing is, with tomorrow and Sunday, it really starts to go into the individual matches.
There's another 8 points on the line tomorrow, and then 12 on Sunday, isn't there? Essentially, Sunday will be the individual day where it's 12 against 12, like all in individual matches. So 1 against 1, 1 against 1. Yeah. So
they're gonna get into their individual matches on Sunday, and
Sunday is always the exciting day. Like, all of the Ryder Cup's exciting for me, but Sunday is it's so intense. Like, seeing 12 individual matches and each one is worth a point. And
I really feel Sunday is going to be our worry day. If you've got the guys like Scotty Scheffler. Xander Schauffele, who's I think a really great match player. We got they got Jordan Spieth. Brooks Koepka is outstanding when he's on form. Patrick
Spieth didn't have a good game today, did he?
Did not have a good game. He
didn't.
He didn't. But I think he will bounce back. Knowing him, Spieth likes the chase. He likes to be behind, and he'll always come back. But looking at our side, you got guys like Tommy Fleetwood, who I think is a really great match play and experienced player. I think Rahm will continue his form. He's playing really well. Rory's going to play well, I think, regardless. Matt Fitzpatrick's going to play well. I'm just a little worried about a few. I think Justin Rose might get a little bit tired near the end. I think Shane Lowry can be a bit unpredictable. He might not have a great round. Højgaard, I think, is a bit inexperienced. I think Ludwig Aberg, when he goes and plays on his own, I'm not sure he may handle the pressure all too well. And Rob McIntyre, I think, again, he will go for birdies, but then he might get those mistakes. So I think we have to have a really strong Saturday for us to have a good chance on Sunday, because I think I have a strong feeling that America will come back hard on Sunday in the individual matches.
Yes, I think you might be right there. Rob's just had to drop out for a moment, but he will be back in a moment. But yes, I agree. Like, it's as good as today has been for Europe. and it has been thoroughly enjoyable to watch. By the way, did we say hi to Surfer Girl in the chat? Hi, Surfer
Sherry.
Girl, welcome in. As good as today has been, I do think that
it's not.
It's far from over. It's a very commanding lead for Europe, and like I say, tomorrow, as long as Europe can just match what America do tomorrow, then it puts Europe in a very commanding place going into Sunday. But we also what happened in Medina in 2012, which for me that's probably my favorite Ryder Cup of any of the last 20 years. It was such a remarkable fight back. And we know that this USA side is extremely talented. They've got some of the best players in the world. I mean, 2 years ago, when USA was so dominant, they talked about the USA dominating the Ryder Cup for the next 20 or 30 years because they were that much of a young and good team. They can't be discredited and they can't be discounted at all. They do have the best players in the world at the moment. So
if you asked me 8 to 10 months ago and showed me the team list of both America and Europe, if you asked me to tell me, right, okay, how do you think our chances would be 8 to 10 months ago, I think we would have had a really tough time. Yeah. It's only really been recently when you got players like Victor Hovland, who has had an incredible season, and he's an outstanding talent. And you've got McIlroy really hitting form now. Tommy Fleetwood has had one of his best seasons in years. I think, John Rahm coming off a Masters victory. And, there's been such great chemistry between the whole side. But then you look at America and, you got Brian Harmon, who's just won the Open. You had Wyndham Clark, who won the US Open. You got Brooks Koepka, who won the US PGA. So 3 out of the 4 majors were won by Americans this year. Yep. Like the American team is solid. Like they don't really have a weak link. The only player who hasn't had a great season is Justin Thomas. But he's really reliable. And I think
Justin Thomas carried Jordan Spieth today. Yeah. You were saying about their friendship. Just a side note. Obviously, I'm a Leeds United fan. They're both investors at Leeds United now in the San Francisco 49ers enterprise arm. Yeah. So we won't talk about last week's football, Dan. No.
We don't talk about Bruno.
It wasn't a good day for Watford, was it? So
it was not good.
But yeah, Spieth and Thomas.
I think there's a lot still to play for. If you're really, really into your golf, I would definitely check out the YouTube channel. Well, there's a couple. Apart from watching cookery videos, the only other thing I really watch on YouTube nowadays is golf YouTube. And there's a couple of YouTube channels that I think everybody should watch. One of which is Good Golf. They're really, really great, as well as Peter Finch. But the guy who I think everybody should be watching for golf is Rick Shields. Rick Shields, he's the largest golf YouTuber in the world with over 2 million subscribers. He's absolutely fantastic, and he's played Marco Simone, and he does a series called He Breaks 75. He tries to break the score of 75 shots in a round. And basically, he played 9 holes. He was losing so badly. He was already like 9 shots over par, which is crazy, that he decided, no, I'm not going to break 75 anymore. The course is too hard. I'm just going to do a simple match play against my co-star in my podcast. Yeah. Because the course is tough. Like, if you're in the rough, you got to hack it out. You can't actually play it onto the fairway. You have to hack it. Like, it's like cutting down a tree. And they had the course designer on his podcast, and he was talking about how he sort of was inspired by all these sort of modern as well as sort of old school courses to make it as challenging as possible and to make it a match play course and not like your Augustas or your St Andrews. Like this course is specifically made for match play. Not to try and see how many shots you can get around. It's literally, can you beat your opponent on this course? That's what it is.
Like you wouldn't play like a normal game of golf on the course?
No, it's really set
I mean,
up
you
for,
could, but it's not set up for that.
It's going to whoop your butt if you do.
Is this like the courses that Adam made on the Xbox golf we used to play? Like
not that bad.
It's tough. It's a tough course.
It's an inside joke.
I mean, a few of them got into trouble today, didn't they? We did see one of the Europeans drop it into the water, and then played a superb chip off the drop ball to rescue it. Rescue the hole. Yeah, which was and that's the way the game went today.
This sounds really cool. I gotta watch it. So
Rob, you really should. I know when we talked about doing Ryder CupTalk today. I know you said you weren't huge on the. You didn't know much about the Ryder Cup, but it is just. Like I say, I'm not a huge golf fan. Like Dan is a bigger golf fan than I am. Dean is a bigger golf fan than I am. John says he plays golf in the chat. I'm not a big golf person. It's not to say I dislike it. It's just not my... I've got bigger sports like football and football, soccer, football, and cricket and probably even rugby to a degree. Yeah. But what I will say is, actually, when the Ryder Cup comes around, I am really into it. It is so much fun. It's just the atmosphere as well. It's the tournament for of golf for people that don't necessarily like golf, because it's passion and it's drama and it's entertainment, because it's team sport, because it is a team it's an individual sport that's become a team game, and so it's so good.
Yeah. And you know what? There's something. It's more sort of me. There's something special about, because I played in my own tournament today for work.
That's awesome.
And there's something quite weird playing a tournament on Ryder Cup Day.
Nice. Yeah.
Wait, did you guys do that on purpose, or it was just coincidence?
No. So on my work, they set up a golf day where they invited sort of staff members, pupils, ex-pupils, parents. Like, they all came to play in one big tournament.
That's cool.
At one of their local clubs. And the format was, which you played in a team of 4, and whoever scored the best out of your 4, the best 2 scores out of your 4 would count those points. I started to play well after hole 16. And I parred the last 2 holes.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Which is great, but then because my handicap is quite high, I actually gain a shot. So actually, instead of scoring par on the last 2 holes, I got a birdie on both last 2 holes, which was pretty cool. We actually in total came joint second in the tournament. So it was pretty good. We played well. I couldn't hit my drives at all, but my approach play, my chipping was on fire. My putting was pretty poor.
Fire!
But I lost only 6 balls, so that's not too bad.
New balls, please.
But after, I think, the 13th hole, I stopped losing balls and actually did okay. But yeah, it was good. It was a really good day. But it's just weird almost playing in a tournament that is on Ryder Cup Day, because that you just want to play well. But I didn't. So
John is playing a couple of golf tournaments.
He's got a couple tomorrow, and he's also playing on Sunday as well.
That's awesome.
Nice.
I think I'm going to meet SurfBum next week, actually. So I have an event in New Jersey. And
that's very cool.
I invited SurfBum John, and I invited Movie Media Nick. So hopefully I'll get to meet 2 of those guys. So we've been talking about John just sitting back.
I mean, you didn't invite us. I'm just saying.
You could come. No problem. The JBJ event. So hopefully John will get to see John. So we'll see.
Nice.
So yeah, hopefully, yeah, I'm gonna come, John. So hopefully, I'll be there. So, unless there's like floods and Noah's Ark, and by the way, guys, I didn't want to interrupt you guys, but it's been so bad. Like since all night. It was thundering and lightning, and it was keeping me up all night. And then I woke up this morning. It was just a downpour, and it literally rained all day. So, like, I don't know what's going on. The local news, LaGuardia Airport, there was like a foot of in the terminal. Like, when did you ever see a flood in an airport terminal? It was crazy. They closed the airports.
Wow.
They
that must be bad.
Yeah, it was just crazy.
Yeah, it doesn't sound good.
Did they close? Did they close Newark? Did they close Newark?
I don't think so. It was just LaGuardia. Just for some reason.
Of course, they didn't close Newark because they ruined my New Year's this year.
That's right. So here it is. It's kind of like coming off Long Island now. So thank God. So
I've only had good experiences at Newark. I mean, I've flown in once.
Try being there for 18 hours for United Airlines.
Yeah,
no. Too soon.
Too soon? What do you mean too soon? They ruined everything.
I know. I'm sorry about that.
I know. Rob didn't even come and collect me.
I know. I'm so bad.
I'm so mad.
I mean, that's because
too busy partying and not helping a friend in need.
That's because he was too busy bailing water. So,
no, he's talking on New Year's. So.
I know. I'm being facetious again.
So.
Sorry, Rob. No, genuinely though. I mean, it's never nice when, like you get these moments, don't you, where for some reason, the weather takes a crazy turn and floods happen, and you always see it on the news and you kind of go, oh, that'd be horrible if it affected us. Yeah. So like to know it's affecting you guys and stuff.
I don't think it's ever rained this hard. So
yeah, it's not fun. Like 6 inches of rain. I do hope that it, the rain holds off and ceases soon.
It's going to rain tomorrow morning, but hopefully.
And I hope it's not. The damage isn't bad in any way. Is where
to pass the time, you should do what they do when it completely pours down. When there's a Formula One race where all the engineers build a boat competition out of paper, and they just let it float down the river and just see which one gets to the end of the road first. Passes the time.
Good idea.
We used to have, where I used to work, we used to have a little creek behind work.
A little Greek behind work?
Like a creek, like a river. Like
I thought you said you had a little Greek.
Creek, like a sea.
I thought you said a man who happened to be Greek, a little Greek.
I've got a little Greek.
Greek. We used to make little boats, like you said. We used to
about 3 foot tall.
We used to sail them down the river. It was so fun. We just there was a couple of people at smoke breaks. I'm like, you know what? Let's build boats and let's have like a little racing while we're back there, whatever. So.
There's a game in the UK. Which goes back to the original books of Winnie the Pooh, called Pooh Sticks, and you sort of throw. You find the biggest stick, and you find whichever the river is going, and you go over a bridge and you throw the stick into the river with your friends, and you keep an eye on your stick, and you run to the other side of the bridge to see whose stick came out from under the bridge first. So that's how you win. So I watched a Instagram story short feed thing where they were playing Pooh Sticks. So they had one kid throwing a tiny little stick, another kid throws in sort of a nice medium long stick. Mm-hmm. And then you just see this kid who's about 7 gets a whole tree branch, like almost like the stump of the tree, and just chucks it in, blocking the blocks all the water, and no water was going underneath the bridge. So yeah, you can do that if you want. That was the worst story in the world.
I loved it.
You don't have to lie to me. You don't have to lie to me. Hopefully this doesn't make the edit, so we don't have to put that story on the podcast. Like, what the heck is Dan talking about?
Can you believe I went to a hockey game already this year? I went to the first Islander game. I was offered tickets, and I'm like, you know what? Why not? So it was an exhibition game, which was like 1/10 full. And there were Islanders Rangers were supposed to play tonight, but the game got canceled because of the flooding. It's crazy. So that's how bad it is. They canceled a hockey game.
It would have been extra slippery.
Yeah, but I went Thursday, so it was really fun. So, but thank you, thanks to my buddy. You know who you are. So, but yeah. So anything else to talk about the Ryder Cup? I'm excited. Like, when's the next one though? Is it like it's every 3 years?
2 years.
Right?
It's every 2 years. So,
2 years. Okay.
I
will watch it.
I will say,
hold on a second. In the U.S., it's on the NBC networks. I think it's on like the NBC Sports, the NBC, the USA Network. I was just looking it up so I can watch it this weekend. So
I will also say that I should definitely recommend
Peacock.
Everybody should go watch the Solheim Cup.
That was last weekend, wasn't it? The Solheim Cup was last weekend.
The Solheim Cup is the ladies' version of the Ryder Cup. Yeah. And it's just this year's Solheim Cup between Europe and America was amazing. Like it was, and it came down literally to the wire. And they actually tied the entire tournament.
Yes, that's right.
And if you tie the tournament, then the winner from the previous year, they retain the title.
Retains the cup, yeah. That's right,
And they retain the cup. So Europe retained 3 years in a row. The girls played amazing. Like they played so well to come back and tie the match and retain the title. So like really well played to the girls. You got to look at the squads. I mean, when you've got players like Georgia Hall and Charlie Hall and they just are so good. And but no, go watch the Solheim Cup, the ladies format, and they hit it so accurate.
When's that on?
That was on last week, but
okay.
that was on last week, but like you will be able to find the highlights and things like that.
It's on Peacock too, as well in the United States.
I was going to say I've just checked Sports Illustrated, and it says the Ryder Cup is on USA Network as well.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
That was actually our congressman or whatever saying, "Stay home, don't go out, brave out the storm."
That was actually him.
Stay home, watch the Ryder Cup.
The phone has gone off like that emergency thing 3 or 4
that went off just before we went live, didn't it?
And then you got a private call from him.
No, it was
like just like I'm going to call Rob Fizessi.
It was a recording. Well, my wife's home and John made it home from school, all good. So I'm going to get going here. We're about an hour in, so of course. Check out this guy right here. He is Adam's Land. He is the man. So his channel, if you guys don't know, if you live under a rock, it's Adam's Land. So award season's coming up. So we're blowing off the dust off that channel. We'll be back. So
yeah, I will be back with a vengeance for award season. I am looking to do something next month as well, the month of October. Just a little something. I've still got to work it out with timings and stuff like that, but hopefully I'll be able to get that content out on my YouTube channel. So stay tuned and stuff may appear. For those watching on the visual podcast, on the visual podcast, I do have my lights behind me, not purple this week like I've had the last couple of weeks, but I've gone for the Europe colours of blue and yellow. So as it's Ryder Cup, as it's topical, I've got I've even got blue and yellow lights. I don't think you can quite see them in front of me as well.
I did notice the lighting.
So blue and yellow lighting. But yes, stay tuned for some more content coming from Adam's Land.
Woohoo! And of course we got Disneyland. Dan, what's going on with your channel? You doing anything over there? Sometimes you do the movie reviews with Walt. I love those. They're so much fun. And he's a married man now. Hopefully he'll be back.
Yeah.
And we miss you. Like there's another thing too. Like it was funny because on the podcast we're talking about doing Disney Fiasco and doing your channel and doing a lot of stuff over there too. So, but definitely check out Dan. He'll be doing some stuff soon.
I just love doing these. Like to be honest with you, I love to do some more pub talks and bring back those top 5 lists that we did. Those were great.
Yeah.
And, I think there's so many great stuff coming up and to be honest, maybe the Disney Dan name might be retired. I don't know. Maybe
whoa, sweet child of mine. No. You are known.
Because
my kids love the way you spell it.
Because if you retire that, then you're just going to be known as Dan.
What's wrong with that?
Well, I mean, that's how we know you, but it's not a very catchy YouTube channel name, is it? Hello, everyone. I am Dan from Dan.
God, the chat's going nuts.
and that's not funny.
I mean, it'd be great, but I just don't know whether it would work.
I just, to be honest, like, I just think it's very hard to find time, which I'm trying to do better at, and it's been really, really difficult. But to be honest, I think we'll stick with it for now and just see how we go. There's just so much like other stuff that, you know, I love Disney, don't get me wrong, but there's so much other stuff I want to do. And I'm passionate
God bless
about,
you.
And we'll just wait and see.
I mean,
you know.
I wouldn't necessarily retire it. We have seen like established big YouTubers over the years retire channels to bring them back because they obviously miss it and stuff like that. And one that springs to mind was Adam the Woo, who had his two channels. He had Adam the Woo and he had the Daily Woo, and he retired the Daily Woo at one point. I think he did a thing where it was over 3 years. It might have been over 5 years. He did every single day.
Yep.
Without fail for over 5 years. And then eventually he got to that point where he was like, I need to just stop and have a breather. And he did. And I think he stopped for maybe 6-9 months. You know,
But
and then he got back.
He doesn't have a real job.
No, which is fine. You have a real job, and I get that. I'm not saying you need to do Disney Dan every day. But what I am saying is you could always, you know, if you started a new channel for whatever other interests are out there, your Disney stuff will always still have an audience.
That's fair.
Will always still have fans. And so I don't think you need to necessarily retire it, but you can do it on a smaller scale, on you know, in terms of the amount of content you post and the frequency of it. So that would be my
maybe another channel. Is that what you're saying, Adam?
So another channel, and he can still keep Disney Dan to do at other times.
All right. Unfortunately, I do gotta go. I'm messaging the guys here. Guys, don't forget. Thank you so much to my amazing channel members, the Rob Fuzz channel members. You guys are awesome. Of course, Adam, Dan, all my partner channels. Check them all out in the link there. We got Diz Tales. Ray, that's your new. Woo-hoo. I love what Adam does it. Diz Tales. Woo-hoo. Of course, she goes live from the parks, mainly Disneyland Paris. We got D&G Explorers. They go live every Wednesday. They do cruises. They do Disney. Love those guys. 8 o'clock on Wednesdays. And of course, dinners with Donna. I have all these fancy things. Now I can't find Donna. I apologize, Donna. But of course, dinners with Donna. Go check her out. She goes live on Sundays, and she does, cooking stuff. And does stuff from Disney. And her daughter Samantha goes live. And,
I think you need to warn me when you're going to do dinners with Donna, because it makes me think of food, and I'm dieting right now. So,
I get mad every time I say it. And don't forget, guys, we have a podcast here. Just search for like Rob Fuzz Pub Talk, because there's other Pub Talk podcasts, but one word, Pub Talk, Rob Fuzz Pub Talk. Or I got my Rob Fuzz Hangout podcast, and I'm on another Disney podcast as well. I'm on 3 podcasts now. It's crazy. So we have a lot of fun. And then I think I'm going to try to just put this live as soon as this is done. So it takes a little bit of time for it to settle, like so you can download it. As soon as I download it, we'll put it live. And all 84 episodes are on our podcast now. So you go back and listen like Dan and me and Adam. Hopefully he's going to listen too. And I've been having a blast going back and listening. So, all right, guys, I'm all into this Ryder Cup now. I'm going to watch it. Hopefully next Pub Talk, we'll talk a little bit more about it. So my mother's calling me too. Like, it's a state of emergency here. So I got to go, guys. Have a great week.
We completely understand. You've got a lot to take care of with what's going on there. So, like I said before, I genuinely hope there is.
Hopefully, we'll ride out the storm.
No major damage, and I hope everyone is okay and safe. Is mainly, you know.
Go fill up your
things can be replaced, but
go fill up your
Get your dinghy and your swimming shorts on. But no, genuinely, just stay safe. Stay safe, because that's the main thing. And we will see everyone soon.
Pub Talk's closed.
We will come into your ears soon if you're listening to the audio version.
Thanks, guys. Take care. John gives us the big thumbs up. Thanks, John. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Cheers.
Cheers.
Pub close. Thank you
Cheers,
so much, guys.
guys.
Have a good weekend. We'll be back soon. We came back quick with another pub talk. So podcast. I love it. So later, guys.
Gonna be more regular.
Yes. So, bye, guys. Take care.
Bye, guys.